everyone, I am back with another video. In this reading or in this video, I'm going to talk about the family that I was raised in. The family that I was raised in was not my family. These were traffickers, people who trafficked kids, babies, and they kept me sick all the time. They kept doing all these sickness spells, which always kept me depleted physically from my energy. And I was sick all the time. At 5, 6, 7 years old, I kept on going back and forth with the doctors and clinics and hospitals. And nobody was ever able to explain why I was sick all the time. Because my lab tests were showing that I was a healthy person. But I kept on getting sick. I would come down with like really bad strep throats, bad flus, bad colds, bad sore throats, fevers, chills, and it was like really physically draining. I could feel my energy being drained, and I never had like the strength to kept on going doing things. I always felt depleted, and as I continue to experience these issues, I learned that the people that were doing this to me, which was my own father, believe it or not, or at least the man that was supposed to be my father, he was not really my father. So he never really had it in his heart to have a heart for me or to even have any kind of compassion. He made a deal with the people that trafficked me to him and the family that they would always control my life because they knew who I was from day one since I was born. They belong to a group called the Masons. It's like a group of Masons. My father is into all that. And growing up with my father and my stepmother, as well as my paternal family, I noticed a lot of discrepancies when it came to their practices, even though they were, very religious people. They'll go to Dominical schools on Sundays. Go to school. I'm sorry, go to church on a daily basis, and a lot of the times, the things that took place or things that were looked to be more like a prayer, it was more of a ritual. And it wasn't just me. There were a lot of other people that did this too. And what they do is they swap destinies. They know what you're here to do, or they know about, your divinity. They know about your spiritual gifts. They know about all of that. So they siphon it and they harvest it for them while they keep me sick, unable to have a normal life because I was always sick. And they always did really well when it came to finances. My father, especially, he was a very materialistic person. So he's the one that made this deal with these people. And my father has been using me as a life source, where he gets his luck from, or a life source that he uses to manifest. He steals my energy of manifestation for him and the family, his family. My father has always been behind all of the spiritual and physical attacks that I have gone through. I never knew that he was a person that he was against me. I never knew that he was a man that hated me with so much passion. But it wasn't because I was special, it was the fact that he really wished that he could have what I had or the gifts that I had, which is the reason why he kept on siphoning them, making money off of them, and continued to keep me sick and in poverty. Believe it or not, I was the kind of child or the kind of kid when I went to junior high and elementary school and all that. I was always the bullied kid because I would, come into school with like old shoes and ripped clothes with like holes in my pants or my shirt. And, kids use that as a way to bully me. And they always made fun of me because of the way I looked, you know. Um, my only, weapon at that point was to just be strong, just to kind of learn to ignore the situation and just block it out. Though it does hurt, to have to be bullied or to have to be rejected because of the way you look or because of the way you dress. You know, um, my father has always been that kind of person. Him and my stepmother both have been manipulating my life since my existence. When I was a 7 year old, I remember my stepmother would, you know, she would abuse me physically and beat me. And whenever we went to the beach or something, she'll always try to drown me in the water, in the ocean. And sometimes I felt like I was gonna die because I couldn't breathe anymore. I couldn't hold my breath anymore underwater. It was too much. And, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, despite all of this traumatization that I went through as a baby, as a child, as an adulthood, all of those traumas, they didn't do what they were expecting them to do to me, which was to break me. Their hate for me was immense. It was very intense. And every time I asked questions, to my father or my stepmother, like why, I get treated this way, it was just one of those things where you have no right to be asking us questions. And, either they would, do all these narcissistic things to me, punish me, sometimes, send me to bed without meals or without dinner. Sometimes I would go to school with no food, no lunch. And some teachers were nice, to look after me and they fed me. But, when it comes to my stepsister and my stepbrothers, it was a different treatment. They had all the privileges of, you know, kids that are loved by their parents. They had clean clothes, brand new shoes, lunch every day. They always looked nice, neat, and shiny. And I just couldn't help to notice it. And I knew that, that it was my father and my stepmother, the family all together that I was in. The problem was they were not my family. A lot of people in the community questioned my father and my stepmother, and they even asked my grandmother as well, is this child really your child? Because the way you guys treat this child is different from the treatment that you give to your actual kids, your real kids. So it became a little evident for everybody to see that I was not part of that family. They knew that, and they knew who I was all along as well. For them, I was nothing but a golden goose, a life source, someone they can extract so much energy, someone they can extract so much manifestation energy out of and make so much money out of. My father and my stepmother, they used to pimp me out, believe it or not, at age 7, 5, 5 years old. They would pimp me out with the people at church, or that we would call the brothers and sisters. That's how they refer to people in church where I came from. And sometimes my father would pimp me out to men and women who would sexually molest me and touch me and do things since I was 5, 6, and when I would tell my father about it, he would get mad and just say things like, you really need to stop nagging and complaining too much. You should be grateful that you have a roof over your head and that you have some food that we're giving you. It was almost like, I really don't want to do this for you, but I have to, kind of thing. Being a child, of course, I was asleep. I wasn't fully awake to the situation. And this is my throat chakra that they're attacking. Excuse me. I'm back. Sorry about that. This is the treatment I received as a child. This is the treatment I received as part of family member. And not only they stole all my dreams, my life, my entire life source, everything. And while they made so much money out of my gifts and selling me to men and women so that they can sexually molest me, and they get the money, I get the traumas. You see, it was all about breaking me. Since birth, their goal and purpose was to destroy me, to break me, because they knew who I was. They knew I was a child of God, and that no matter how much they tried to break me, they are not going to turn me into a dark person. They are not going to make me turn to darkness, because I don't walk with them. I walk with God by faith, not by sight like they do. Believe it or not, all of these trauma that they put me through, instead of breaking me, they did the opposite. They turned me into a much stronger person, immune to any more attacks from them. And now that my father and my stepmother and both families, what I mean by that is my paternal family and my maternal family, because they were both different families, and they were two different people, yet same. I don't know if you get what I mean. The story that they gave me was that my father and my mother had some kind of a random encounter where she became pregnant of me. And the story was that this created a lot of conflict between my father and my stepmother. There were supposedly or allegedly a lot of threats that were made to my mother. But I'm 2 years old at this point, and nobody wants to tell me where my real mother is. I continued to push for the truth because I wanted to know who my mother was. They saw that I wasn't going to back up and that I needed answers. At age 10, they hired a woman. They hired a woman that looked similar to me, and they made her pass as my mother. But she wasn't even my mother, because this mother is the same mother who intentionally canceled my green card in 1997, intentionally blocking and stopping my entire destiny. So I knew what was happening the whole time. I had no way to confirm any of my suspicions. So the only way to do that was to go within and to look within, find the answers through God, ask God to illuminate my mind, ask God to illuminate my life and reveal to me all that has been hidden from me and what has been done. After finding out everything that they did to me and against me, to destroy me, to take me out, to kill me, it was so disheartening, heartbreaking. My heart broke into pieces to see that the very own people I once loved and showed love to are the very same people who were my biggest enemies. They are the ones that have manipulated all the unfortunate events in my life to happen. Because when I was born, they knew that I was born for greatness, not abuse or torture. And they turned it and they swapped my destiny with another person, gave that person my destiny, and they gave me that person's bad karma and bad luck. But God saw all of that, and so did my ancestors and my angel guides, because I walk with them, and they showed it to me. Try to imagine what it feels like to find out that the very same person that you have loved and seen as a paternal figure is the same person that is trying to kill you, to make your life a living hell, to make you homeless, to keep you in poverty and isolation, because this is the only way they can keep harvesting my energy, by putting burdens, hardships, and all they want to do is say, I can't believe how strong she is. Let's just add more. They have no compassion. They see me as a machine that they can abuse and torture, like a punch bag they can dump their karma into. But they go out of their way to tell people that I am mentally unstable, only because they want people not to believe the actual truth. They want people not to see them. So they will twist the narratives like the typical narcissistic people do, sadists, heinous, horrible people. And you know what? I still believe in God. I still walk with God. I still love God. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you and your little group do, or all the other family members. You're not going to break my faith, and you're not going to break me. At this point, you have broken and cursed your own self than doing anything to me. And you want to continue to tell people that I am some kind of a dark entity person? I don't think or have that kind of mentality like you. God made me different for a reason. He made me different for a very specific reason. Isn't that the reason why you have been attacking me all my life? You knew who I was. You stole my destiny for so many years. And you hurt your own child. Whether I was or was not your child, you still raised me. Paternally speaking, you were to assume the responsibility of a paternal person. Instead, you abused me, tortured me, manipulated my life, manipulated my relationships. Every time I was in a relationship, you would quickly find out and break us up. Didn't matter who it was, especially if it was somebody who was very beneficial for me. You would run and break them off so quick and take everything away from me just like that, with no regard, no respect. And my only question is, who do you think you are? Do you truly believe that you are more powerful than God? Because if that's the case, buckle up, because you're about to find out, if you are not going through it yet or already, you will find out, because you have pushed it to the limits. You have pissed off not only my ancestors, but you pissed off God with your arrogance and your ignorance of thinking that you are more clever and smarter and more powerful than God. This is how far your delusion went. You are not more powerful than God, and I belong to Him. I don't belong to you. I owe you no loyalty. You are no king to me. And if you are a king with no crown to me. God knows what your fate is. I know. So does everybody. Everyone around you knows. You're the only one that keeps walking around acting like nothing is wrong. But everyone can see. And as you can see, I speak the truth. There's no resentment here. There's no grudges. I only speak so that I can guide others out of the darkness. Others that have become your prey, they will listen to this message and free themselves from the bondage that you have put them through. You abused your power. We are children of God. We are not going to be destroyed. You and the entire group of family or Masons, whatever it is that you people do, all of you will have to answer to God. But before you get there, you're going to prison to face all the murders, including my grandfather's murder, because you murdered my grandfather for his money. And on the day that you murdered him, you wanted to murder me as well. It was a double hit. You plotted the whole thing. And you expect me to see you as a father figure of respect and honor? I'm not sure exactly what made you so ignorant. The power or the fact that you were just born stupid? I ask God. I ask God to take you under his wing and show you exactly what you have done. Because before you get to hell, you will face him. You will face judgment here on earth, and when you get to heaven, you will. How dare you treat your children this way? No children, whether these are your children or not, they don't deserve that. People of God are always going to rise, and I am always going to rise, whether you like it or not. You and the entire group of witches and warlocks that you work with, you will simply have to sit back in prison before you die and watch me rise, because that is the prophecy. There is no power that can come against God. Thank you everyone for listening to this video. And if my father is watching, which I'm sure he is, repent. There is no way out. There is no escaping. Everything is out. The whole truth is out. And it will continue to come out. Because you've done too much. You've hurt too many people. Too many innocent. And all you have done is walk around with Prada shoes, Bentley cars, because you think you're high honor and high ranking. For who? That's the question. Because the devil doesn't even think of you as a strong weapon anymore. You have become his puppet. And you will become his eternal puppet when you get to hell. I pray for you, and I pray for the entire family. God bless you.